They stood in front of everyone at the reunion, wine glasses raised, grins stretching wide. "Tonight," my father said, voice booming, "we celebrate our child's promotion and the revival of our family vineyard, funded by their generosity." Applause erupted. My mother's eyes gleamed with triumph. Everyone looked at me like I was a savior, and all I did was smile. The vineyard was their dream, their pride, their obsession, but it was also their curse. Years of debt, poor choices, nights where the lights flickered off because bills went unpaid. And through it all, I was the afterthought. The child told to understand the sacrifices while my clothes came from thrift shops and my tuition was a maybe. I learned early that love, in their house, had a price tag, and I wasn't worth enough. The promotion changed everything, at least for me. After years of clawing my way up, I had finally earned respect, a title, security. I expected congratulations, maybe pride. What I didn't expect was a Facebook post, a smiling photo of my parents beneath the Vineyard sign. Caption: "So proud of our child who will be funding the revival of our family legacy. The Vineyard rises again." Hundreds of likes, dozens of comments, and not a single word from me. I stared at the screen, bile rising. They had turned my success into their bailout, and they didn't even ask. I didn't confront them, not yet. That would have been too easy. Instead, I waited, watched. Every time a cousin messaged congratulations, every time an old neighbor sent me thank you notes, every time my parents called, voices dripping with excitement, talking about renovations and equipment I hadn't agreed to fund, the anger sharpened into clarity. I wouldn't fund their vineyard. I would bury it. I began moving in silence. Step 1, secure my own dream, a mountain cabin, isolated, quiet, mine, paid in cash, the kind of investment no one could twist or leech from me. Step 2, document everything. Screenshots of their posts, copies of their messages bragging about money they didn't have, proof of manipulation. Step 3, choose my moment. The reunion. A room full of relatives, old family friends, people who still romanticized the vineyard. The perfect stage. The night unfolded as expected. Toasts, laughter, endless glasses of wine poured from bottles they couldn't afford. Then came the moment. My father, flushed from drink, raised his glass and announced, "To our child, the reason this vineyard will live again. $100,000 of faith in family." The room cheered. Eyes turned to me. Cameras lifted. I reached into my bag and pulled out an envelope. I slid it across the table toward my parents. "Before we celebrate," I said calmly, "why don't you open this?" My mother's smile froze. My father frowned but tore it open. Photos spilled out onto the table. A cabin in the mountains, modern, strong, standing tall against endless trees. My cabin. Gasps rippled through the room as I leaned back in my chair. "That," I said, voice steady, "is where my money went. Not here. Not to your debts, not to your dream." The silence was brutal. Relatives stared at the photos, then at my parents, then at me. My mother's voice cracked. "But you promised." I cut her off. "No, you promised, for me. You used my name, my success, my hard work to prop up your failures. You told the world I'd save you, but I owe you nothing." My father's face burned red. He tried to laugh it off, to spin it, but the room wasn't buying it. They all saw the truth laid bare on the table. Parents who gambled their child's life for their vineyard. And a child who had finally cut the cord. I stood, left the photos behind, and walked out. The echo of whispers followed me, sympathy for me, shame for them. My phone buzzed all night. calls from my mother, messages from my father, pleas from my siblings. I didn't answer. The only sound I wanted was the crackle of the fireplace in my cabin, the wind through the trees, the quiet I had bought for myself. The reflection. They smiled when I got promoted, not because they were proud, because they thought it was their second chance. But their vineyard will rot, their debts will drown them, and they will know, with every empty glass, with every crumbling wall, that the one person they relied on chose freedom over family. They once taught me that love had a price tag. Tonight, I showed them mine. It wasn't $100,000. It was goodbye.